All right, so here is what we're going to be covering today. We're going to talk about why Facebook is no longer an option. And when I talk about Facebook no longer being an option, I don't mean just for us to be on there as consumers and connecting with people on our personal profiles. I'm talking about no longer an option for business purposes. We're going to talk about why the traditional approaches to Facebook and why they don't work. In fact, Gary, we're going to cover the 7 or 8 major updates that Facebook has made that has made these things that we were taught in the past no longer relevant or no longer enough.
You said they just made a major update this morning.
And this morning.
You know, so it's constantly changing, so we've got to stay on top of this.
And we're going to show those with everybody, or share those with everybody today. We're going to give you our formula. It's our own formula that we use for effective Facebook marketing. We're going to share that with you, and we'll get into step-by-step how that works. We're also going to share with you some ideas and examples of things that you can post on your Facebook business page, as well as 4 quick strategies to get fans. And I think we're even going to get into specific post types on what you can include so you can see how your post can be seen. So I hope you're ready, because we have more than, well, we've got a lot of stuff. So let's just keep going, Gary.
Absolutely.
So after this training, here's what you're going to be able to do. You'll have a strategy on how to use Facebook to promote your business and develop your database. Okay, that's something that we get asked a lot is how do we grow our database? What are some low-cost methods to grow the database, to grow my sphere of influence, to grow my digital sphere of influence?
Well, and one thing that you mentioned there that's really critical for everybody to understand is that this is a strategy, because if you start something without a strategy, then there's really, like, you may have a purpose to it, but it's like trying to drive from Austin to Duluth, Minnesota with no map. Good luck. Well, actually, you just get on 35. But, you know, that's my point. It's like you have to have a strategy. You have to have a map. And the great thing is that Chris has created that entire map for you.
We will break this down step by step for you. You're also going to be able to use social media to connect with the consumer, the home buyer, and the home seller. We're going to talk about how you can avoid those common Facebook traps most real estate professionals get caught in. And this is where we're going to discuss what we've been taught and why it no longer works. You're going to understand Facebook tactics to implement to get more fans and how you can engage them. And also, just one of the additional things you're going to learn specific examples of what you can post on your Facebook business page for the purpose of getting engagement.
Yeah, and before we get into all of that, let's talk about some statistics, because these are really critical for everybody to understand. You have to understand the why before you can actually get to the how.
Yeah, and by the way, just as a side note, if any of you are working with home sellers and you wanted to be able to justify the use of social media for your marketing plan, some of these stats, you want to write these down, or you're going to want to have access to these so that you can share them with people that you know. So here's a fact. That, or a stat, I should say, 73% of internet users are on social media. And Gary, what's fascinating is in the past, when social media, you know, several years ago, people used to think that, oh, it's only the kids, the youngsters that are on social media these days.
Those youngsters.
And that has changed significantly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Every age demographic is represented, and including 65 and above. And so everyone is on it. Which means our consumers, our home buyers, our home sellers, our prospective home buyers and home sellers, they are on social media.
Well, they absolutely are. And just a simple little input, a little factoid here, my in-laws are on Facebook more than I am. So, you know, it's their demographic as well.
So, and then, you know, if we want to be able to connect with consumers and our prospective consumers, we have to be where they're at.
Yeah.
Right? We have to be where they are.
So that's always been the case. It's just where they are is changing.
Well, I mean, it used to be an offline world exclusively, so we had to go where our clients were offline. In this online world, we have to go where they are online. There's another dynamic, Gary, that's been happening with social media is that now people, you know, initially people used it just to connect, but today people use it for far more than just connecting and communicating with each other.
Yeah.
They're using it for the purpose of doing research and trying to understand people who they're working with. They're using it to make decisions, right? So they're going to reach out to their network, where in the past you really couldn't easily reach out to your entire network to find out, hey, should I buy the GoPro video camera or should I buy something else? But today, in seconds, you can get feedback from your entire network of people, and that's how it's changing how people are influenced using social media today.
Facebook is also the dominant social media property. You want to talk a little bit about this, because I know you've done a lot of research on this, and I found this fascinating. I had no idea it was that much of a gap between Facebook and the rest of the players.
Well, Gary, what's interesting about this particular slide is I know a lot of us are using other social media properties, whether it be Pinterest, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. All of these they're great social media properties. But when you look at the market share, Facebook has the overwhelming market share of the entire social media category by 3 times to its closest competitor, by 5 times to its furthest competitor on this list, which is Instagram. Now, here's where the takeaway. It's not saying that you shouldn't be on those, but what your customer, though, is most likely going to be on Facebook. It has the most people on it, and so if you're going to spend time, energy, and effort and some investment,
yeah,
I'd put it where the largest audience is, because you have the greatest likelihood of being able to connect. And rather than spread yourself thin, because I'll tell you, there is a lot of time is involved with building and maintaining a social media property. If any of you who currently have multiple social media properties, you know this. You know that there is, it takes time. You've got to go find out what to post. You have to figure out how to curate that post, and then you have to go spend the time scheduling that post and putting it into Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. But if you're doing all of that, then it's going to spread you thin as opposed to being able to do one really well. So my practice and what we do here is we master one, right? So we're getting really good at one, and then we're playing around with the others, but we're putting the majority of our time into Facebook.
Yep.
Pretty much where the frequency of use of the different social media properties that are out there. So you see on that graph on the right-hand side, and what it's showing you is the amount of frequency, daily, weekly, the frequency in which people are on the different social media properties. And you can see 85% of people, 85% of Facebook users check in at least once a week, with 63% checking in every single day.
That's incredible.
Every single day. And here's another stat I'll share. I did not include this in the presentation, but the average visit for a Facebook user is 22 minutes. So when somebody goes into Facebook, they might think that they're going in there just to go quick check in and see how things are going. They're spending 22 minutes.
That's a lot of time.
That is a considerable amount of time. Some people check it multiple times a day.
Yeah, and if they're on 22 minutes 4 or 5 times a day, then there's a lot of opportunity to gain exposure to them.
Yeah.
So that's really important. Let's talk about why you would want to use this for business.
So, Facebook has a lot of different tools, and we're going to talk today specifically about their business tools, Gary. They have a great business platform. So most of us are familiar with Facebook from the personal profile, right? And so there are 2 distinct versions in how we can use Facebook. We can use it as ourselves using our personal profile, but we can also use it as a business or an organization or an entity, and that's called a page. Yeah. So you have a profile and a page. And today we're going to cover exclusively on why and how to use that business page to grow your database, to connect with people, and ultimately to help grow your business. But the reasons you want to use Facebook for business is the following. First is authority and credibility. I mentioned earlier how our behaviors for making decisions as a consumer has changed radically because of social media, where now we can go out and search someone, right? So when someone's going to work with you, trust me, they're searching you on Google. They're searching you on any social media properties that you're going to show up on, and they're going to look at your profile. If it's publicly available, they're going to look, and they're going to see what's available. And here's what's going to happen. They're going to make a judgment based on what they find. They're going to make a judgment, good or bad. They're going to make a judgment based on the information that they see online about you. In whether that be Google results that come up, Facebook results that come up, your LinkedIn profile, whatever shows up is going to create an impression, and they're going to have judgment. Now, it may work in your favor. It may work against you, or something that you have to overcome. But know that it happens pretty much every single time. And so this is where, as a business, tremendous authority and credibility can be built up when we have the right information on our page, and when we start to proactively share it. Gary, we talked about this on a coaching session that we had for our members yesterday, where for home sellers, the #1 influencing factor on why they chose a real estate professional was the reputation.
Reputation is everything, and it's always been that way. I mean, it is all about your reputation. It's just now that reputation is being communicated vastly differently than it was 10 years ago.
Well, you've got now your offline reputation, which is your word of mouth, and it's people who know you. But now you also have your online reputation, which may or may not reflect your offline reputation.
Right, and that's where we need the consistency between there and be able to communicate that effectively with everybody there.
Another reason to use Facebook, Gary, is that it is a low-cost method for being able to expand your digital sphere of influence.
Yeah.
We all have a sphere of influence, but you can target market and really expand using some of the tools that Facebook has to offer for businesses to expand that digital sphere of influence. It's something that we do pretty much every day, where we have campaigns running to expand our digital sphere of influence. It's also a great alternate communication channel. And what I mean by that is that we oftentimes, we have a preferred method that we want to share information. Maybe that's email, maybe we like to call people, and those are great. We want to be able to vary up the different forms in which we communicate with our clients, with our past clients, with our prospective clients. So this is an additional form, and it's less intrusive. One of the neat and fascinating things about using Facebook is that people don't see it as intrusive.
No, because you're not hitting their inbox. It's not coming across as spam. You're not hitting their mailbox, so they're not having to look through and say, oh my gosh, yet another thing from Chris coming to me. It's really reaching people where they are in multiple avenues. This does not mean that Facebook is your only communication. That's one thing I like you say. It's an alternate communication channel. It is not the sole communication channel that you're recommending.
Now, Gary, I have a fourth bullet point or a fourth reason I'd like to add. I'm looking at the slide deck here, and I see that there's a fourth reason that should be added to this, which is to promote your business. Now, here's why I'm going to put this on here, is that when people accept your when you become, let's say you send one of your clients a friend request, or vice versa. If you guys agree to accept each other's friendship online, well, what they're doing is they're saying, hey, it's okay, we're connected as friends, and so I'm giving you permission to relate to me on a friend level, on a relational, personal level. What they're not doing is saying, hey, promote your business to me. They're not saying that. Now, when people like your Facebook business page, they're explicitly saying, yes, go ahead and send me information about your business and communication about your business, and that's why it has the power to promote your business, because people, whereas when people are our friends, you should not breach that trust that they've established with you through that connection. But when they follow your page, when they like the page and become a fan, they are saying, go ahead and send me messages related to your business and updates related to your business. And we'll get more into that in just a couple of minutes.
Now, what you're not saying is don't share posts that relate to business. That's a different thing.
If you have a business page and you're also using your profile page, it's okay to share from time to time information from your business page with your personal network. And it's going to be viewed differently, by the way, because it is referring to another source of information, which is, again, it's okay. But to communicate with your sphere of influence the same way through your personal profile versus with a business page, well, I mean, it's actually a breach of the terms of use, Gary. You're not allowed to represent your business through your personal profile. And a lot of people have that mixed up. And, Facebook, you're not at risk of going to jail or anything, but I'll tell you what, you could lose your personal profile in the process.
And that you do not want that to happen. So let's keep going, because another point that you're talking about is really meeting the unique interest of today's buying and selling consumer. That's a big difference here, that there are different expectations now that buyers and sellers have around where we are, how we market, where we promote their homes, and what they're expecting.
Well, what's neat about using social media is that it does help us meet the needs and meet the demands of what our customers want from us in real estate. And so, according to the National Association of Realtors, the #1 thing that home sellers are looking for when they hire you as a real estate professional is they want you to market the home to potential buyers, right? So they want you to market the home to potential buyers. Well, social media is also, it's one of the things that consumers are expecting you to do.
Yeah.
They're as consumers, we use, most of us probably on Facebook. Most of your clients are probably using one of the social properties out there, if not using Facebook. So they're going to expect that you're going to have a marketing plan and within that marketing plan, if you're a so-called expert in selling and marketing homes, then your marketing plan should have some aspect of social media to it. That's just what people expect these days. And so having that incorporated in what you do is going to help meet that need, that demand from a home seller on marketing the home to potential buyers. Another thing, we talked about this already, is how sellers are selecting their real estate agent based on their reputation.
Absolutely. And in fact, I encounter this every time, is that when I meet with a customer, I know that they're already checked me out on Facebook and on Google, and they've gone to my website, right? So if we can address Google, making sure that I have enough reviews with my company to make it look like I am what I am and I am what I say I am, and then number two, my website actually represents my profession and my business. That third one that's really critical is making sure that the Facebook profile really shares that reputation with the customer. And so I know that they're looking at me. I know that they're investigating, and I know that I have to make sure that it is actually representative of what I am.
Well, and what social media, all of the properties offer is a permanent record of your reputation that can't be wiped away, or that can't change based on how someone's feeling that day, or whether they remember to refer to you and how they refer you as. If they're able to just refer to your website, refer to your Facebook property, people can see that permanent record of your reputation. Another thing it has to offer is to be able to connect with clients or prospective clients before and after the transaction. So before by providing value, and after providing value. So if you're providing the right information, and we're going to give you examples of what types of information to share on your Facebook page, if you're providing the right types of information, you will be able to provide value. Now, some of you might be thinking, putting that filter on, what would be considered value? Well, if someone likes your Facebook page because they want to receive real estate related information, they probably are not so interested in seeing pictures of your pets. Not on a regular basis. Maybe from time to time, but not on a regular basis. That's something that you would share on your personal profile. And when they accept your friendship as a relationship, then it's okay to send pictures of your pets or your kids. That's perfectly acceptable. But on your business page, not so much.
So let's talk about some pitfalls that we need to avoid by working with Facebook here.
All right. So let's talk about the major updates to Facebook. This is why, and when we were sharing with you why you should sign up for this call, for this webinar training today, we shared with you that there have been significant changes made to Facebook, and there's some of these that affect how we use it, or that determine whether or not what we've been taught before works or not. And so we're just going to go through these, and I'll explain the implication and the learning and how we have to modify our behavior of what we've done. So the first update is the newsfeed algorithm update, and this happened back in December. This was a huge one, and there are still people, Gary, that are ranting on all kinds of websites about how Facebook is a fraud because they made these changes. And here's what I'll share. Facebook made changes to their newsfeed algorithm. Well, here's what that means. What they did is they looked at the newsfeed, and this is when you log into Facebook and you see in your newsfeed all of the information that it's sharing with you. Facebook has to determine what it's going to put in front of you. Now, based on the average number of people, I think the average number of people connect that have 130 friends and they like about 70 or 80 pages. Based on that, the average person has a potential of 1,500 different stories to be viewed on any single day.
There's no way. Like, how do you get through that?
You can't.
Right.
The point is you can't. So Facebook chooses the most relevant 300 to put in front of you. Right? Now, Facebook is constantly trying to determine what is most relevant to the person who's logged in, and what they want to do is provide a positive, awesome experience that's going to continue to increase the number of minutes that you stay on the Facebook page. So if they can get you from 22 minutes to 23 minutes, they're winning, right? Because you're going to spend more time there. So they're constantly making tweaks. Now, in the past, people pretty much, they just put as much stuff in there. If a business page, for example, was sharing 5, 6 posts a day, they would just filter that through. And what was happening is it was becoming a bad experience as a Facebook user going through the news.
Well, in Facebook, they had to make sure that they kept customers happy, and just allowing that bombardment is that's not a good practice.
So Facebook made some major changes to the newsfeed, and most businesses, I'll say most and majority of businesses, not all businesses, have seen a dramatic reduction in the amount of reach that they get in their business posts. I'll give you an example. There's one, I was watching one social media practitioner do a webinar about 2 weeks ago, and she was saying she has 50,000 fans. And on a normal,
that's a lot of fans.
Yes, on a normal day, her reach was anywhere, she was getting 50 to 60,000 impressions every single day. After the changes, it went down to a couple of thousand a day.
Wow.
So it is a radical change. Now, here's what she realized. She could have gotten mad about it and started saying how horrible Facebook is, or she could adapt.
Yep.
And that's what we're going to talk about today, is how you can adapt. Another new feature that they've added is trending. This was a feature that was added in January. Now, one of the next, so with the trending, what you'll notice is if you look at the Facebook page, it's changed quite a bit. And one of the things that you'll notice, Gary, if you look on Facebook, if you guys have Facebook open right now, one of the things that if you're watching this, don't go there right now. No, just kidding. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and check it out. What you're going to notice is they started adding very valuable information to the right side of your Facebook profile. Now, Gary, why do you think they did that?
Probably because people weren't clicking on the ads anymore.
Exactly.
Those ads, because in fact, I have trained myself to not even look at the right side. And in fact, I don't even know what you're talking about because I've so trained myself not to look.
Now, if you go in there now, however, you're going to find that it's hard not to see them. Because what they've done is they've put interesting information such as trending right above there. They've also closed the gap so that those ads show up very, very close to the news feed. Oh. So it's hard to not pay attention to them now. Another feature that was released is called page tagging. This is a very large one for businesses. What it allows you to do is if you have a Facebook business page and you write a post and you tag another business page, it will share some of that post with some of that page's audience that you've tagged. Now, I have read a lot of gurus out there saying how people who do Facebook marketing are going to junk this up for everybody because they're going to start tagging everything and everybody. So you want to use it with discretion because Facebook will account for people who are using it legitimately and not legitimately. But that's a really cool feature. So
don't abuse it.
Yeah, you don't want any of the tools that Facebook has to offer. People tend to attempt to exploit them, and then Facebook adjusts. So page tagging, another huge feature that was released in February. For me, this happened earlier this month. The news feed layout changed, and this is where the right side ads are now much more integrated with the news feed. This is a benefit for, of course, advertisers because they are going to see it. Here's what I've also found. And if you read some of the Facebook literature on their roadmap and the changes that they're making, what they're trying to do is to serve the Facebook user by providing more relevant ads to them. Meaning that, when you get shown an ad that has nothing to do with what you're interested in, you see it as spam or you just see it as like nothing. You're just like, oh, this is just ads.
Well, and I have to point out, Mary on the call right now says, my Facebook has an ad for GoToMeeting. They know that you're on this call. That's creepy, but they know that you're on the call, which makes it more relevant, and that's how they're able to do that.
And so Facebook's goal is to provide you with ads that are relevant that you will see as value as opposed to seeing as just useless information. Because the truth of the matter is, if there's something that if we have a problem and there's a product or a service that will solve it, then seeing that ad is going to be of use to us, right? And so especially if it was, I mentioned, I think the GoPro video camera. If I was thinking of purchasing one, if someone showed an ad that said save 30% on the GoPro video camera, I'm going to see that as valuable instead of just being just an advertisement.
Yeah, so basically, if you ever want to find out what your spouse has been shopping for online, go look at their
Facebook
log
page.
Into Facebook and see what the ads are over there. See, it just says, also knows I'm shopping at Nordstrom for specific shoes. Yes, it does.
Yes, they're using something called website custom audiences there, which is a powerful tool to be able to track who is coming to your website and then being able to feed that information back to Facebook when they log in to what we call remarket to you. All right, so the next feature they changed is they changed the page layout. So this is if you have a business page. They've modified that. They've made it more streamlined.
I like that. It makes it much better.
It makes it look much better. They've also changed the timeline view. So we've probably seen this recently when you logged into Facebook. If you haven't, it's rolling out over the course of the month. They don't just, with Facebook, they don't roll all their changes out to the entire network. They do it in small batches.
Yeah.
And so, for some of us it might have happened already. For some of us maybe it hasn't. But over the course of March, expect to see when your timeline is going to look a little bit differently. A huge one that's taking place in March is campaign organization. If you're using Facebook ads, they're changing the way campaign organization is set up, and you'll know more about Facebook ads by the end of this call today. But what they're doing is including something called ad sets, and we'll dive into that a little bit later. It's more of an advanced level topic for anyone who's using Facebook for advertising purposes. Know that they're changing their campaign organization, and this is a huge benefit for anyone who's using it because it's going to be laid out much more the way Google AdWords is laid out, which it's just an easier way to integrate, to be able to split tests and organize your marketing campaign. So that's taking place and rolling out over the course of March. And then in April, next month, another big one for advertisers is something called sponsored stories is going away because they've added the social context to existing ads. So those are all the major updates and changes. Now, Gary, let's talk about the implications that these changes have and why what we've been taught is no longer enough.
And who moved my cheese?
And who moved the cheese? Who moved the Facebook cheese?
Well, that would be Facebook.
So, yeah, I think all of us are taught that if you provide good content and that if you engage your audience, and as a rule of thumb, just don't put anything bad out there that you wouldn't say with a customer, that you'll be okay.
That's not true anymore.
Right? Unfortunately, it's just not enough.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that you should not do these things because the truth of the matter is this is a prerequisite. Like if you're not providing good information, if you're not engaging your audience, if you're not putting stuff that builds up your reputation versus hurts your reputation, you can't pass go. But it's not enough. It's not enough. And so we're going to give you some tips a little bit later in today's call on how you can work around this. Because here's what happened. Is that these changes meant, right? So I mentioned the news feed algorithm change that was made. So in the past, if you provided good content and just did it without necessarily having a content strategy, who knew? And before Facebook would just pump it out. It would pump it out,
right?
And your people would have seen it.
And now, because of the limited distribution,
so now Facebook is looking at frequency of your post. How frequently are you posting? Now, I'm not saying, here's a big mistake that people make, is they're not posting enough, right? So you shouldn't be posting 15 times a day, but you also shouldn't be posting 1 time a day. And there is a half-life to how long a Facebook post stays in people's newsfeeds.
Oh, you just went all scientific on us.
Half-life, it's about 3 to 4 hours in which Facebook considers a post relevant to somebody.
That's an important thing to know.
Yes, it is a very important thing to know because later on when we talk about how many times a day you should post, you're going to want to understand that half-life principle of how long something stays relevant. Another thing that Facebook is looking for is quality content. So how does Facebook judge quality content? And I'm not... People, if you can actually use Facebook Insights, which is a great tool to break down. It's beyond the scope of the session, but I do want to mention, if you have a Facebook page, you can go use Facebook Insights to find out tons of information about who's visiting your page, who likes your page, all kinds of great demographics. One of the things that you can find is what types of posts, i.e. a status update, a photo, a video, a link, which types of posts are getting greater engagement. And then learn from that to say, oh, how do I duplicate that? Now, that doesn't mean you're only going to, let's say you have videos. Just by the way, one of the things I'm finding has been working really well on Facebook as of late is exclusive video content. I think it has something to do with them wanting to compete against YouTube and be able to have, but they're favoring, what I've noticed, this won't be true for everybody, but I've noticed a favoring by Facebook to put huge organic distribution on videos that are exclusive to Facebook that I've uploaded, meaning that it's not a link to a video, but I've actually uploaded the video into Facebook for viewing, and Facebook is giving really good organic distribution for that.
Because they want that content.
They want that exclusive content. So, we talked about providing enough good content is not enough. Engaging your audience, I mean, that's something, if you're sharing information on Facebook, don't just share it and then set it and forget it. You have to come back and let your people know, let your audience know that you're still viewing it. They might have questions, especially when you when you're sharing your expertise on Facebook, which we would encourage you to do, is to share your expertise in the form of real estate expertise on Facebook. Engage your audience when they have questions. Right?
Yeah, don't set it and then abandon them, because they'll disappear.
Right. And then the rule of using rule of thumb, it's not enough to just to say, all right, you know, don't do anything you wouldn't do in person with your clients. No, that is no longer enough. You have to have a strategy, and you have to plan for consistency. You have to plan for consistency. So we have some examples of that. So let's talk about, well, one last thing.
I found this a very interesting fact. This is one of the reasons why we as realtors are doing a lot of things wrong on Facebook and actually violating Facebook's terms of use. I mean, I see this rampant in real estate, is people are saying, just listed, you know, just sold, come see my open house, call me if you're looking at buying or selling real estate. That's business.
Yeah.
And they're posting that directly from their personal profile.
Yeah, it is a violation of Facebook's terms of use to represent anything other than an individual as a profile. Now, most of us never, you know, when you create your Facebook profile, you don't read the terms of use. I mean, I never read it. But what it's exclusive in there is that you must represent you and not something else. Now, many of us have our businesses, and, you know, we have a highly integrated business for what we do, being in real estate, but we're still violating the terms of use. And although I have not heard of anyone who has lost it, but I have also, I mean, I don't know how you would find that information out, whether someone lost their Facebook.
I don't know.
And you could probably go in and have to reset it, but that would be an embarrassment. So just know that it is a violation of terms of use to represent anything other than yourself as the personal profile. That's what pages are for. Facebook pages are for representing businesses, organizations, entities, public figures, celebrities. These are all where you're going to want to use the profile. So, Gary, let's talk briefly about our own process and how we build, you know, our process for using Facebook.
Well, I got to tell you, one of the primary reasons that we're using Facebook like this in real estate is to gain exposure to buyers and sellers that we don't have access to any other way. And through that, we're building our database with Facebook. And I want to mention this real quickly before Chris continues. Our biggest asset in real estate is our database. And so if we could build that asset, it's just simply going to add value to our own business and help us sell more real estate, which means more money. So with that, you want to talk about that process there?
Sure. So what you see here on your screen is a reflection of the business model that we use in terms of Facebook. At the heart of this model, at the heart of this process, is getting fans. Without fans, nothing happens, because your fans are your audience. And so when you have a business page, you're going to want to focus on getting fans, and there's lots of strategies to do so. We'll share some with you today. So once and that'll be something that happens constantly. You're always going to want to have activities, events, campaigns running to increase the number of fans that you have. Another thing you want to do is to share information, share good, valuable information consistently on a regular basis. Whenever people interact with you, you're going to want to interact with them. In fact, you are going to even want to encourage people to interact. You're going to get your post seen, and you're going to promote the occasional post. And I do not mean by hitting that little boost post button next to your ads.
That's actually, Chris does not allow us to say boost in the office because that's a no-no. Do not boost.
It's a waste of money, and you won't see a result, and then you'll think that Facebook ads is not good because of using that feature, unfortunately. And then you're going to get people to opt into your database. So this process of sharing information, interacting, getting your posts seen, and then getting people to opt into your offline database. By offline, I mean offline of Facebook, but getting people into your email database, or where they've accepted another saying that, hey, yes, I'm interested in getting more information from you. So you constantly
and it's a cyclical thing.
It's a process.
You don't see it stopping.
Nope. It's an ongoing process that you will have continuously. And when you do, it's relatively easy to put in place. And once you start maintaining it, you see results. You start to. One of my favorite things to do is to see that fan count go up as a result of the different campaigns that we run. So once you've now let's talk a little bit why this is a little bit different from the traditional methods. The reason this process is different, first off, you're using a strategy.
Yes.
First and foremost, this is a strategy for using Facebook in your business. It is not just putting some good information out there. It's not just interacting with people or having a general rule of thumb. This is implementing a strategy to grow your digital sphere of influence so that you can not only get in front of the people who like you and follow you already, but to increase that sphere as well. And so you're able to proactively target new people to grow your database.
And there's a very specific way that you can target demographics, specific people. You know, just paying to get likes on your business page, that's a no-no, right?
No, you don't want to just pay to get the likes. There's been a lot of controversy over people just getting likes from countries where they would never even do business in, just for the purpose of getting likes, and that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is proactively going in and finding the people who want and are most likely to accept and want to hear your message from Facebook. And so you're going to be able to proactively target those people. Gary, one of my favorite ways to do that is to target the friends of the people who are already connected to our page.
Well, that's like asking for referrals, right?
It's exactly like asking for a referral. It's just a little bit more proactive because Facebook will look at everyone who's connected to your page and then put your message, your marketing message, in front of those people if you're willing to run, advertising to do so. And we're not talking thousands of dollars to do so. If you set your ads budgets correctly, you're doing this for tens of dollars a day.
And you know what I really like about this is that if you like Good Life Realty on Facebook, and I haven't liked it yet, and Good Life Realty runs an ad like that, it will show me, hey, Chris Scott likes it. I'm like, oh, well, that means I need to like it too.
Well, you can even get down to people who are most likely to be thinking of buying or selling a home and just specifically put it in front of those people who are connected to your page. So it is a great way to proactively target new people. Getting your posts seen by your fans and getting your messages seen. This formula allows, it takes into account that once you have a fan, you want them to get your messages and they want them to see your messages. And then you're going to be able to use, and how this is different, you can promote your business in ways that you can't using your Facebook profile. Yeah, you mentioned to this where you see real estate professionals doing it incorrectly because they're representing their business with their profile page. Even though it's a terms of use violation, the fact is there are a lot of people who do it, and there hasn't been any repercussion. However, the repercussion is one that you'll never get to see, and it's the one where your clients abandon you.
Oh, that's a bad one.
That's a bad one.
We did have somebody here on the call who did lose their Facebook profile because of activity like this, and she said it was a pain getting it back. So,
here's the thing. They know who you are. It's not like you can just go in there and try a different email address. They know who you are at that point. Facebook's very smart about security, and so they know who you are. You try to run different email addresses, they're going to know who you are. Now, here's the thing. With a business page, however, you can talk about your business in ways that you just can't do as a personal profile. And the people who like your business page, they're cool with hearing it because that's why they followed that page in the first place.
Well, that's the whole thing. I like several different pages because I like the message that they're providing. And and so that's important. Let's talk. I've seen a lot of questions. How do you get set? Like, how do you get started? So let's talk a little bit about how you get started. And what I love is you've broken it down into bite-sized pieces for everybody to understand.
Well, I don't want to oversimplify this, but the steps that you're going to take is first, if you don't have one already, you're going to want to create your business page, right? To do so, all you have to do is go to facebook.com/pages/create, and you'll be prompted to create a Facebook page. Now, before you go do that, there is you don't want to just go run out there and create it.
Don't go do that right now.
I wouldn't encourage you to do it right now.
You need to learn before you do this.
If you choose the wrong categories, if you put the wrong information when you're setting up your business page, that can be a real pain in the butt to have to deal with later. So, but it is as simple as going through and creating your business page. Step 2 is to provide good information. We're going to share examples in just a second here on what examples of good information that you can provide for real estate. You're going to continuously focus on getting more fans to follow and like your page, and then you're going to work on getting your posts seen. So, Garrett, let's go through some examples on how they can implement this once they've created their business page.
I actually saw a question. How can you tell the difference between a personal profile page and a business page? Well, and interestingly, you have a slide right here that shows that.
So we do have a slide here. What you can see is that visually they look very similar, right? They have a image that represents the profile image. They have a cover background image. But one of the things that you'll notice is that some of the tabs are a little bit different. If you go to the next slide, Gary, we can talk about some of the differences between profile versus page and what they're good for and what they're not so good for. You know, your profile page is great. I mean, obviously it's created for representing an individual. It's great for connecting with people that you know and maintaining relationships. You know, one of the interesting things about a personal profile is, rewind about 15 years ago, the only way you would have known someone in your network got like a dog or had a grandchild was if you called and talked to them.
Either that or one time a year with the holiday card. It's like, hey, look at, this is what happened this past year with our family.
So the personal profile is really great to know what the heck is going on in my friends and family and my clients' lives who have accepted the friendship. You might find out that, oh, they became a grandparent for the first time, or they got a new dog, or unfortunately, they bought a new home, right?
It's the last thing you want to hear.
That's the last thing you want to hear. But you find all that you can see this easily now, which used to take a long time. You might have met with them, but now you have the opportunity to get insight into what's happening in people's lives every single day, and that's what the profile is great for, as well as sharing with everyone else what's going on in your life, right? Instead of going to, you know, I have lots of kids. I got like 4 kids, and keeping the grandparents up to date on all of the kids would be, I'd have to be talking to them all the time.
Right.
But Facebook is amazing. I'd take a photo, and they know that we went to the aquarium. They know that we went to the zoo. They know that. Right, and so they get to vicariously live through there because they don't live close by. What it's bad for, marketing your business, building a business database, keeping customers aware of your business, that's what it's not good for. So your business page, however, is great for building your professional reputation. It's great for marketing your business. It's great for building a business database or your digital sphere of influence. Keeping customers aware of the news and updates on what's happening with your business, that's what that business page is for. It's not for maintaining personal relationships or trying to follow on what's going on in people's lives. So, you know, Gary, now that we talked about the differences about the business page, and let's get into some fun stuff here, because what we have
this is awesome value. I've seen a lot of questions. What are your best post ideas? Yeah. And there's so many, but let's run through.
We have we're going to give you some examples. I took screenshots from our real estate brokerage's Facebook page to show people just an example of what we've done here, so that you can also mirror what we've done. So we've got these different post ideas. The first one is, you know, and this might seem like common sense to you, but many of us aren't doing it. I'll share that. Is homeowner tips. People who already own the home. So what we're trying to do is to give advice to people who we've already worked with, possibly, or they already have a home, and so they're not thinking of buying or selling, maybe not right now, but you still want to provide that valuable information to these folks. So a couple of examples would be building equity, home improvement tips, home maintenance tips, household finance tips. Here's one where we shared a link on smart ways to create equity within your home. And just, you know, for everyone anyone who you've worked with is interested in.
Well, even people you haven't worked with, they're interested.
And people who you haven't worked with. So this is just a great example of sharing a tip. As you come across articles, as you come across useful information, maybe it's just sitting right here in your head. One of the post types that you can share is smart ways to create. You might even have one like, you know what, a great way to create equity in your home is you could do landscaping, and that adds like 15% value to the home at the time of resale. Well, that's great information. Share that with your network, right? You might have, you might go on an appointment and realize that in consulting with that prospective client, you gave them some advice on, hey, you know, a couple of ways that we can increase the resale values. We're going to throw some paint on here. We're going to change the gutters out here. Whatever it was, that could be something that you could also share on your Facebook page. So that's example number one.
I have to share with you as we go to the next slide. A friend of ours, Greg Gorman, out in Florida, awesome realtor in Florida, just said awesome. He's loving this content, and interestingly, Greg, he's very active on Facebook, and if Greg is learning something here, this is really great content for everybody else. So let's talk about national and local housing market stats. People love this information. I mean, they're always curious, and in fact, this is, you guys, everybody here has experienced this. When you go out, if you're at a dinner party or a happy hour, what's the one question that people ask every realtor?
How's the market going?
How's the market? Man, they don't have to ask anymore because it's all over your Facebook page. So,
Well, what's great about sharing stats, local and national stats on your Facebook page is this really helps to build your reputation as an expert. You know, when people see that you have stats and facts related to real estate on your page, there's there's a subtle, it might not be, what's the word I'm trying to say? What happens is they get the impression that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
When people know stats and facts, they just seem like they know what they're talking about.
Absolutely.
I drop Facebook statistics, and you're going to think I know what I'm talking about on Facebook, right? Well, same thing with real estate. You drop some real estate facts and stats, and people will assume, and usually you only know that information if you do know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So sharing that on your Facebook property, so changes in inventory, changes in home sales, home buying and selling trends. These are all things. Here's a couple of examples. Austin's housing inventory is at a 7-year low. If you want to know what this means to you, just comment. I can break the list down for people who look to buy or sell a home. Study shows states where Americans moved in 2013. We love this one because a lot of people are moving to Texas, and we're in Texas. So that was an example of a trend, and so we shared that. And so that's another example of what you can include on your Facebook business page for posting.
Now, this next one we've talked about. This is important to share on your business page, not your personal page.
Right. So one of the things that you'll want to communicate to everybody is that, yes, I do, in fact, sell homes and help people to buy homes. And that's something that I do. And there's nothing more effective in doing that than the social proof or the evidence that that's taking place. It's why, Gary, in the offline world, why a sign in the yard is so powerful to all the neighbors in that area to say, oh, that person's working with so-and-so. So-and-so does real estate here in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so same thing on your Facebook page. You want people to see that, yes, I do list homes. I do sell homes. I do get stuff under contract. And, yes, people are moving as a result of my efforts.
Absolutely. All right, so listings, you want to share that. You want to share your success. You want to share it and then share that with your friends and your clients so that they can then share that information, go viral. This is a great one, congratulating new homeowners. What is the one thing that people like hearing most?
Their own name.
Their own name. And what's the photo that they like seeing most?
Their own photo.
Their own photo. And if you can combine those and congratulate your clients, what this does is number one is it shows everybody out there that you're celebrating your client's success. Number two, it shows that you are successful and you're sharing your success with other people. And number three, it gives you an opportunity to gain access to your clients' networks and have those people come back and like your page because, like you said, you tag them in the photo, and then you can even ask them to share that photo on their own Facebook profile page.
Well, it's a photo of them. It's them celebrating the moving into their new home, and that's very shareable, right? So great content, great, and all it takes is just take a quick second to take a snapshot using your phone, put it onto Facebook, congratulate them. If you're using your Facebook profile, you can even, and you're connected with them on your personal profile. So here's a strategy. Put it on your Facebook page, and then go in with your personal profile. If you're friends with them, tag them in the photo.
Yeah, and Mary just shared, she said, this is huge. I've gotten hundreds of views, and they share it. Yeah, the clients will share it because they love sharing that information. It removes the need for them to send out just move postcards, right?
And it's just something cool. People are always proud when they purchase a new home.
Yeah.
So it's just something awesome to do. This is a big one. Offers for consultation. The reason why this is so big is that we do, from time to time, have to ask people to engage with us on a professional level. It's also filtering out people who may be thinking that it's time to buy or sell. Now, you don't want to overuse this, but from time to time, it's good to just let people know that I can offer advice. So, and you can even do this a little bit more subtly than saying, are you thinking of buying or selling a home? A powerful way to do it is to offer advice on, hey, if you're thinking of buying or selling and you want to have some advice on tips, things that you can do to increase the resale value, I'd be happy to schedule a consultation with you to discuss that.
Yeah, don't just ask.
Right.
Offer help, and then you can ask.
Yeah, so you can provide all kinds of tips related to, another one might be if you want to attract buyers, would be to say, hey, if you've been thinking of purchasing a home and you want to know if you want some advice on things to consider to find the right home for you, then let's schedule some time to talk, and I'd be happy to help you figure out what is going to be the right fit for you. Again, instead of just saying, hey, are you thinking of buying or selling, think of it from the consumer's perspective of what's their problem. Oh gosh, am I going to be able to find the right place?
Right.
Do I want to live in this neighborhood or that neighborhood? What are the schools like in that neighborhood? I wonder how much we're going to be able to get for our home, so that will we have enough to be able to purchase the next home that we want? Those are the concerns that they have and the advice that they would like to have addressed before moving on to the next step. So offer that advice in the form of a consultation.
Well, let's get into offering everybody on this call some strategies to kickstart getting more likes on their page.
Yeah.
So you know, that's what you want. You want more people getting likes, so then every time you post, you have a better opportunity of getting in front of them.
Right. So the first two are no-cost methods, and the second two are some paid advertising methods. We're going to talk about both of them. Both being critical to any strategy is doing the no-cost method as well as the low-cost method. So the first one might seem obvious, but I'm going to share with you the trick to this. Getting your personal profile friends to like your page. That's going to be an obvious one, right? But here's the trick. What happens is over the course of life, over the course of weeks and days, is that we get new friends added to, that we become new friends with our personal profile. Many of those friends do not automatically become your Facebook page fans. And so just from time to time, I usually do it like once, I don't know, like 2 or 3 times a month. I was going to say once a week, but it's usually maybe every 1.5 weeks, every 2 weeks or so. But I go through my friend list, and I'm constantly getting new friends added over the course of business. I'm always getting new friends added. And so I go through my friend list, and I just say, all right, who should I invite to my Facebook pages? Now, I've got multiple pages that I manage, so I have to filter out which ones should I actually, would it make sense for me to invite to which page? But just doing that activity, here's what I would recommend that you do. Just schedule it once a month. Just to start, once a month, schedule yourself a little activity where you're going to invite Facebook friends to your business page. It'll take 5 minutes. It'll take less than 5 minutes to do. It's just the trick is reminding yourself to do it. So in your Outlook calendar or your Google calendar, whatever calendar that you use, just schedule a repeating appointment for yourself once a month to go through, review your friend list, and find out which ones to invite. The next thing is to pick up likes from existing traffic. Now, here's what I mean by that. Most of us have websites, right?
Yes.
Most of us have websites. Or we either have a website or somehow we're getting website service. So if you have a website and you have existing website traffic, know that for every person who visits your website, that's a potential opportunity to get another fan for your Facebook page. Now, I'm not just saying drop it on your homepage and hope people start liking your page. You have to be a little bit more tactical than that. Here's what I mean, though. Whenever someone requests information from your website, for example, you might have information to help give guidance on the buying or selling of a home, right? Here at our brokerage, we have the 10 commandments of purchasing a home or when buying a home. We also have one in preparing for the sale of your home. Whenever someone requests information via your website and you're going to send that to them, on the thank you page, because there's always a thank you page, right? So they request the information and then they show up on a thank you page. One of the things you'll want to include there is they request to like your Facebook page.
Right.
Now, if you guys are, if you want to give guidance to the person who manages your website, you want to write this following language down. I've tested this a lot, and I got the idea from a company that does landing pages, and they do split tests to optimize landing pages, and the language that they came up with that then I borrowed, split test for us to find out what was going to work the best is, now that you've received this, whatever that piece of information that they requested, is to say thank you, and then here's what you're going to want to write in the text of that website page is, we'd be honored if you just took a quick moment to like our Facebook page. We'd be honored if you took a quick moment to like our Facebook page. Now, there's some power in that language. It worked on me, and that's what caught my attention about it. And then I did some studying, and I realized that they had tested that language. And here's what's happening when someone has already requested information, and you've given them that information. Now what you're doing is you're saying, hey, we'd be honored. You would give us honor if you just took 1 second. 1 moment to like our page, and the button's right there to like, right? And so it literally takes less than a second for me to like the page and for me to give someone else honor. It works. I'm telling you, it has worked for us phenomenally well, and it's a no-cost method for getting likes. So you want to take advantage of that existing traffic. Another thing you want to do is use Facebook ads. We talked about this, making friends with fans, or making friends with friends of your fans. So using a Facebook campaign, targeting the friends of your fans, and there's in using Facebook ads, you can set ads to target the people's friends who are connected to your page. Very effective. This one has, I always have an ongoing campaign that runs in the background of all of our ads, a Friends of Fans campaign. Last one is recruiting your database. There's a really great tool called Custom Audiences within Facebook where you can download your database from whatever tool you're using, Top Producer, any CRM that you're using, upload those emails into Facebook, and then they will find which people have Facebook profiles, and then you can market to those individuals. Right?
Brilliant.
So you can send people an email, but then also have another, because your email open rates you're not going to get 100% open rate. So also use the Facebook ad platform. It's very effective.
So how do we get these posts seen, Chris? Because we've talked a lot about getting likes. Now that we have likes, we want to get those posts seen by as many people as possible.
Yes.
And you've talked about, like, how there are algorithms now where they're not sharing every single post.
Well, not only are they not sharing, so there's 1,500 potential stories to share in any given day. Facebook's narrowing it down to 300 that they think are the most relevant. Here's another fact, though. You only look at, on average, 70% of what's available in your newsfeed. Meaning when you go into Facebook and you're spending the 22 minutes there to spend in Facebook, you're only getting through about 70%. Because what happens is you scroll and then you start to engage, or you start to click and you start to go. You never go through the entire 100%.
Right.
And so what can we do about that? So I mentioned that half-life of 3 to 4 hours.
That's
what you're going to want to do is schedule your posts throughout the course of the day to take into account that half-life, which means you're going to want to have a post dropping every 3 to 4 hours. But not every 3 to 4 hours all day long, and that's where people make another mistake, is rather than put posts when their audiences are on Facebook, take the step of looking at your Facebook insights to understand when people are on Facebook. Now, we have a national business for the paperless agent. We have a national business, and so that is extended because of the time zones. But if you have a local business, it's typically going to be within an 8-hour range. It might be 9 hours. Maybe it's 10 hours. But it's typically going to be in a specific time frame, and you're going to want to strategically drop posts so that it drips over the course of when your fans are paying attention to Facebook. So for us, it ends up being 3 to 4 posts a day, and then you're going to want to use Facebook ads to promote certain posts, not all of them. That's a waste of money, and I don't want you to waste money. What you're going to do is determine which ones have a lot to offer in terms of value or conversion, and you will specify those posts to promote.
Awesome. Well, let's talk. I love this one. So because you've been talking about how they're promoting your different posts. Can you explain this page to everybody?
So Facebook has, I'm just going to briefly mention, they've got a powerful, powerful, powerful advertising platform. Here's just a couple of examples of the different ways in which they distribute ads into Facebook, whether it be mobile, on the news feed, on the right-hand side. But they have very effective advertising because of the way they structure their ads. You can see they have what the business is, what the message is, what the visual assets, if there's any included, and they always try to pull some in because they know pictures do get people's attention when it's relative to the headline that's there, and then the call to action. So Facebook has done a great job in structuring their ads, and make no mistake, they've made no mistake in trying to understand what works and putting that in front of the people who you're marketing to.
Now, you talked about Boost, and this is the only time I can say this in this office, but Boost.
Yes, don't use Facebook's self-serve ad tools. They're expensive and they lack the targeting ability. Now, here's why. And if you go in, if you have a Facebook page and you see Boost posts, or in the top right-hand corner where it says Promote Page, here's why you don't want to do that. Effective marketing means putting your message and putting the right message in front of the people most likely to take action on that message or most likely to receive value from that message. When you use the Boost tool, you're taking a huge just shotgun approach to just telling everybody. And Facebook will take your money. They have no problem taking your money.
No, that's what they're in business for.
And that is what those tools are designed, is to take a shotgun approach where you're going to blast everybody, spend lots of money in the process, and then not get the results that you're looking for. So don't use the self-serve ad tools. There's another option, which is the built-in ad manager. This is better than the self-serve ad tools, but again, it's not quite as powerful. And it has a lot of wizard-driven tools to be able to create ads. But I find it kind of slow and clunky compared to the Power Editor tool, which is the one that I use. And it doesn't take long to learn this tool. It's actually a lot faster once you understand conceptually what you're doing. Because rather than have to go through a wizard every single time, it's very easy to copy and paste ads. And that's most of the time what I'm doing is I'm copying an ad, making slight tweaks to it to test 2 different versions of it. So I would encourage you to use the Facebook Power Editor. Very simple to get. Just go to www.facebook.com/ads/manage/Power Editor, and it will download. You have to use Google. You have to use Google Chrome as your web browser. It's a Google Chrome web browser plugin. But once you're using that, you'll be able to create ads using the Power Editor tool.
All right, so much content, so much information during this webinar. Let's wrap this up and put it together, because a lot of people are saying, okay, I want to learn how to do this specifically. Can you show me how to do this? So you want to take us through this?
Yeah, so putting it all together. So you've just spent the last hour learning about Facebook marketing. And you've learned about how to use some of the advanced tools Facebook has to offer specifically for businesses. And here's what I know. You know this information can help you. So what we've done today is we've covered our exact system for how we use Facebook. And here's the thing. If you want help implementing everything that we've gone over, here's the no-hype breakdown of what we have to offer. It's our Facebook marketing for real estate by the paperless agent.
And you have been spending a lot of time creating this training.
I have been holed up for the last couple of weeks, ignoring everything that's been going on in my life to produce this for everybody here, because our coaching clients are actually asking for this, and so this is an extension of what they've asked for. Facebook marketing for real estate is specifically designed to help you use Facebook to enhance your online reputation, to grow your digital sphere of influence, and to create stories that engage and connect your fans. So here's the thing. If you want to grow your database, transfer your offline reputation into an online world, and stay connected to those people most likely to do business with you, then this is specifically for you. Okay? All right.
What I love is you've broken it down into 6 modules.
Yes.
It's like this is not something that's going to take somebody years to figure out, months to figure out. You figured it out for them, and this is what you've done.
We've broken into 6 different modules. We've got Module 1, Facebook marketing strategies. Module 2, your business page. Module 3, what to post. Module 4, growing your database. Module 5, getting your posts seen. And then the Module 6 is advanced Facebook ad tactics. This is what we shared was that 4-step process. This is the complete process now on implementing Facebook in marketing for your real estate business. So here's what we talk about, Gary, in Module 1. We briefly rehash why Facebook is no longer an option. We dive into how social media and the housing consumer and why those 2 things are so important. We revisit why and give more detail on why what we were taught no longer works. And then we break down that process that we shared with you, the formula for effective marketing on Facebook. And so we want to make sure that as you go to put Facebook marketing into your real estate business, you have the right strategy, because tactics disconnected from a strategy just are tactics that will lead you nowhere necessarily specific. So we want to give you the strategy, have that grounded, have that rooted, and plus anybody that you may be working with your Facebook property needs to have this as well, so that you can implement essentially the same strategy. In Module 2, we dive into how to create that Facebook business page. I mentioned earlier, just don't go create your Facebook page right now, because there is customization that's going to determine what type of page category that you should choose. Having a breakdown of the anatomy of a Facebook page so you understand which options are the right for you, because you want to customize it. You don't want to just go in there and start throwing this stuff together. You want to be a little bit more strategic about setting this up so that you won't have to go back and try and make changes. For example, Gary, one of the things that's a huge pain in the butt is when people go through, and I'll just give you one example of things you want to pay attention to that we cover in this module. When people go to set up their Facebook page and have the URL, if they choose a URL that they don't really like and want to change it later, it's a pain to have to change, and Facebook will only let you make one change. So you really want to think through what you're going to name the URL for your Facebook property. And that's what we get into, those types of things, those details as it relates to your business page in Module 2. Now Module 3, this is where we dive really deep into posting strategy and engagement for different types of posts, covering all the different post types that are available, which ones perform better than others. We give you 13 additional examples of what to post. I mean, you can literally copy and paste those. You can find where to get posting content. That's a big thing for people, is to know, all right, if I'm going to schedule this information, if I have to do 3 to 4 posts a day, how do I go get that information? Where do I get that from? Okay. And then we have in that Module 3, we also cover planning your posts. This is essential. If you're wondering, how am I going to get 3 to 4 posts a day every single day, planning your posts for getting more reach, that's what we cover in this module to make it a little bit easier and just give you the step-by-step so that you can execute on having your posting strategy implemented. Now, Module 4 is where, remember at the heart of the process I talked about growing the fan base. We're going to talk about growing your database. We've got 4 quick strategies that we cover. We break those down through demonstration. We covered 4 quick strategies here for getting fans. In this entire product, there are lots and lots of examples and specific campaigns that you can use to grow your fan base. We do a lot of screen flows where I go into the Power Editor tool and show you exactly how to set these things up so that you can step-by-step walk through this for yourself. We cover the no-cost marketing methods, and in doing those low-cost marketing methods, we share with you how to get the code so that you can copy that code from Facebook onto your website so that you can put that like box easily into your website. We talked about.
I just saw a lot of questions like, how do I get that like box on my website? So I was about to start answering. You just answered it.
Yeah. So Facebook has a code that you can get. And what you're going to configure a couple of components, and then you take that code that's generated, and so all of that's covered in this module. We also talk about additional ways to expand your digital sphere of influence and cross-marketing to your database, which is essential. Now, one of the things that we walked in, so I share in this particular module, Gary, how to use custom audiences, which is an advanced, that's actually an advanced level Facebook advertising feature, but we cover it here because I want to make sure people leverage this tool to get their non-Facebook database and their Facebook fan base, connected. We also get into running. This is where you're going to create your first ad, right? So we're going to walk through step by step using a demonstration. I screen flowed setting this up so that you guys can walk through creating your first Facebook ad if you haven't created one already using the Power Editor tool.
Awesome. So Module 5, getting your posts seen. Once you build that list, now it's time to get your posts seen. You don't build it and then they will come. You have to have them come and build it simultaneously.
Yeah, and this is where the power of knowing what posts to promote and then how to promote them. There are a lot of options. For example, Gary, yes, you can create posts on your Facebook page and then run advertising campaigns. And I do a couple of screen flows so that you can see how to do that using the Power Editor tool. One of the really cool features is to be able to create what we call a dark post or an unpublished post that doesn't show up on your Facebook page, but you're going to use it for the purpose of advertising. And why would you want to do that? Well, sometimes you might be wanting to offer consultation, or you're offering new ways to attract people to like your page that you don't want your existing fan base to see because they're already fans, right? You won't need to market to your fans to like the page. So you can create a post that's unpublished that can only be seen by people who are viewing your ads, and then you would target people who are not already connected to your Facebook page. Now, the reason why you would want to do that, Gary, is that post types, when you promote a post, and you have the option of putting it in people's news feeds versus on the right-hand side. That's where you would want to use this. That's how we use it. And so we do a lot of screen flows on exactly how to get your posts seen, both by your fans and by people who are currently not fans of yours.
Awesome. Module 6.
Module 6. This one is the advanced level stuff. Here's where we cover split testing and ad improvement. I'll share with you, if you're doing any type of marketing, and I assume all of us are doing some form of marketing, if you're not using split testing, and I'm not just talking about Facebook, I'm talking about in everything that you do as it relates to marketing. If you're not doing split testing, then you're not seeing the incremental improvements that you could make that could literally double or triple your results just given a little bit of time. This is something where I use this with every marketing tool that I use, whether it be email marketing, whether it be Facebook ads, Google AdWords, all of the tools that I use the split testing concept to continuously improve the effectiveness of the messaging that I have and then the response that I get. So we cover that in advanced ad tactics, and we cover it specifically in Facebook. Facebook is a great tool for our marketers because it does automatic split testing for you when you set it up right. And that's, I mean, when you set it up, you create a couple of copies of the ad with slight variations, and then Facebook will automatically split test. But you do have to configure it correctly so that it will split test the way you want it to. We get into using interests and Facebook partner categories to target prospects. An example here, Gary, is that you can use Facebook to target people who are interested in real estate investing or luxury real estate in your geographic area. Very powerful tools here in terms of being able to target people. You could even target people who are interested in real estate investing who are friends of your fans. I talk about
you can get so specific, and we always talk about several things, and one of those is how do I increase my average sales price? You can target market people in a higher price point, so it's incredible.
And then we go in advanced ad techs. We also get into several different Facebook ad campaigns that you can run for real estate. I just shared one example, the real estate investing. So we show you how to set those up in Power Editor. I think we created 4 different campaigns that you can go in there, and I do a screen flow so you can see how to set it up, everything from how to name it to what options that you should choose for bidding and how to set it for targeting. So we go through in those details so that you can also set up these ads and start to test and improve them for yourself.
Additional resources. Yeah.
So I almost forgot about this one. So if anyone who's thinking, oh my goodness, that's a lot of information that I have to post on a regular basis, know that one of the things that we've included is an entire content calendar with 30 days worth of plug-and-play posts.
Wow. Yeah. So you get it set up, you get the likes,
copy and paste.
Copy and paste.
Copy and paste. That's the beauty of it. Well, it's kind of copy and paste. Every day we share 3 posts. The first 2 are literally copy and paste, and then the third one requires a little bit modification, meaning we started off for you by saying, hey, here's my recommended service provider for carpet, and then you have to put in that person. So what we do is we have some starter posts for you. And but every day, well, with the exception of the weekends, it's not as frequent on the weekends, but Monday through Friday, it's 3 posts a day, and we provide all of that for you. So it's literally plug and play. We've organized it easily in a nice. Here's another great thing about this tool is that we have set it up so that when you do future planning, you've got a tool to do your future planning in. It's an Excel spreadsheet where you can use to plan all of your future posts in. It makes it very, very easy.
Yeah.
So you're going to get the exact same system that we use here for Facebook marketing. You might be asking the question, how much does this cost? And it's $597, but I don't want you to buy it.
Well, they could if they just wanted to go and buy it.
Yes, but don't buy it.
Okay.
Don't buy it. You can get the Facebook marketing for real estate for a fraction of its retail price when you join our coaching club. So it's $597 product that you can get for joining our coaching club. Real quick, here's what's included with our coaching club. You get 2 coaching sessions every month. It's 90-minute training sessions with Gary and myself. Oftentimes we'll also have guest presenters come in. We had Keith Lang, the co-founder of Skitch with Evernote, come in to do a recent presentation. So it's 90 minutes, Q&A included. We cover in-depth topics. On our last topic, we just got into online reviews and how to set up online reviews using Google Places and how to leverage them in your real estate business. So 2 coaching sessions every month. You also get what's the next thing there?
Well, they get all of the archives. Every single coaching club session we've ever had, you have access to all of those videos. Like you said, Keith Lang, co-founder of Skitch, was on. You're going to have access to all of that.
We even had an earlier call. So you see on their Facebook ads for real estate, there was an earlier coaching session that we had done, which prompted us to create this product because of the demand that we got from our coaching clients once we did that initial coaching session. We did one on using DocuSign to get digitally sign agreements. Yep. We have a lot of information in there on how to use Evernote and and Skitch. So a lot of great archives. So you can, when you sign up, you'll get the entire archive of the sessions. I find this very useful because we do so much demonstration in our training that you want to go back and watch it over and over again. We share member resources. We've got some great resources. Here's one from John Diaz and from Beverly Bowen where they went out and they created resources that they were willing to share with us. Here's a listing checklist and a buyer consultation spelled out for you guys that you can use, and just great stuff that is being used in the field, right? So actively being used in the field, like the stuff that we share with you guys.
We also give priority support. So you get to schedule time with one of our support members to get one-on-one help, which is really important because a lot of different people need different help and different tips to have breakthroughs on technologies. That's one thing that's critical. You know, there was somebody in our coaching club who was really having a hard time understanding the concept of Evernote. Boy, once she worked with Will on the phone and had that breakthrough, she's like, I got it, hallelujah, I'm good.
Now here's what I'll share with you folks. It doesn't mean that you're going to be able to get Gary or me or Christina on the phone. What it means by putting our pictures on here is that our team, if they get stumped on something, they're going to come ask us. So you're going to get the collective experience of all of our knowledge and intelligence for everything that we do as it relates to running our business, and you have access to that knowledge through our team.
Yeah, absolutely.
So instead of paying $597, you can join our coaching club and get the Facebook marketing for real estate for only $197 today. Now, I'm going to break that down a little bit because the coaching club is a monthly program. It's $160 for the initiation fee plus $37 for the first month's coaching, and that's where we get the $197 total investment, and then after 30 days after you purchase, it'll be $37 a month to continue access to the program. So how can we make this so affordable? Gary, you know, I joke around, but we'd like to be able to just provide tremendous amount of value, give that value, and then have people join our program as opposed to having to go out and spend lots of money trying to do marketing and convincing and persuading people to join our club.
Honestly, this is something that Christina and I talk about a lot, is that the real estate industry has offered us and our family so much through, you know, since 1997 when we both started selling real estate, that it's our time to give back. This is how we're giving back to the industry. We want to help elevate the profession. But like you said, it gets even better because...
Gets even better. There's no contract or commitment to join the coaching club. Now you will lose access to the tools that the Facebook marketing for real estate when you cancel, but you can cancel at any time. And on top of that, we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you join the club, you're unhappy with it, just call us within 30 days and we'll refund your money.
And
now,
so some people are saying, I'm in, how do I join? Before we keep going, I want to share something with them. If you want to join, we do have only 100 spots available right now.
Here's the thing, Gary. There's 1,000 people on this call. We broke GoToWebinar. There's 1,000 people on this call. We've got 100 spots available. So if you want to get this Facebook marketing for real estate, I'm going to encourage you to join the club so you can get it for only $197 instead of $597. And we've only got a spot for 100 people. The reason why we can only accept 100 people at a time is we can only indoctrinate so many people at a time because of the increased priority support calls, because the number of people coming in the program. We can only handle that many people at a given time. So we have to cap it at 100, and we usually get more than 10% of our calls signing up for our new programs, especially something like this with the Facebook. This is so in demand because of the changes, Gary, that Facebook has been making where people are not seeing the results, and it's such a low-cost lead generator when used effectively. So I would encourage you to sign up right now. We're going to sell out of the 100 spots, so I want you to be able to get access to this Facebook marketing product.
So how you join is two different ways. Number one, you can go to this hyperlink, thepaperlessagent.com/love. What I do want to mention, we have a lot of current coaching club members on this call. Do not go sign up for Coaching Club again. Chris is actually going to send you guys an email to show you how you can sign up for this this special offer. So
if you're a Coaching Club member already, we've reduced the price to $97 for you guys, and we're going to send you an email link where you can log into the member site and get that code when it's available for you guys. So sit tight if you're already in our Coaching Club.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, if you're like, okay, I just want the quick hyperlink, just go into the question section as we start going through Q&A. and type the word link in questions, and we'll make sure that Will and Jordan get you that specific link so you can sign up. So you just, okay, a lot of people are over there already saying link. So go ahead and go to the question section and type in link. This is, Sia says this. She is a coaching club member. She says this is much less expensive to hire the paperless agent team as coaches than specific marketing consultants to build out your social media. Well, that's kind of the point, is that we really want to make this very, very affordable to everybody in the real estate industry. In fact, we were up in Portland at a presentation, the Steves, with the Portland...
Steve Schwab and Steve Tickner. Hey, guys.
Yeah, they're actually on the call today. They brought us out to speak to the Portland Metro Association of Realtors, and the one kind of criticism we got was, well, now hold on, what's the catch? Because you're able to make this so affordable, and I think what you said is the catch is that this is how we make this affordable to everybody. Now, understandably, we can only do this for a certain number of people at a time. So for 100 people today, we can do that. We'll probably be able to open this up at a later time. But we do, like Chris said, we have to indoctrinate.
That was a good comment that you made, that individual made on, don't go out and spend tons of money on having a social media expert come out and evaluate your social media business. I mean, the fact of the matter is, the stuff that's available out there, there's a little bit of smoke and mirror, when people charge. I'm not going to say everyone, because there are some great social media consultants out there. But there's a lot of people out there charging real estate professionals an absurd amount of money and kind of taking advantage of the fact that they don't maybe understand social media that well. So this is something where you go through, and by the way, this product clocks at over 4 hours. It was like 4 hours and 15 minutes or so of training, 4 hours and 20 minutes, I think it is. And we're not done yet. We're going to add a few more modules to it. But you go through this course, and you'll be able to, if you were talking to somebody about social media, quickly understand whether or not they would be able to affect your business. But you can do this on your own, and that's why we want you to get this product, get the Facebook Marketing for Real Estate, because you can do this on your own. So, Gary, I know we've got a ton of questions, and I want to be able to answer as many of them as we possibly can.
Here's one that kept popping up again and again. Andrew asked this, and a lot of other people, and I apologize for not documenting your names, but they asked something similar. Now, why would you want to take prospects away from your website and have them go to your Facebook page? Because historically, a bunch of web marketers have always said, you just want to get people to your website and keep them there. Don't let them go anywhere else. Can you explain why you want them going to your Facebook page?
Sure. One of the things I look at through all of the marketing advice that I get, and trust me, I consume a ton of marketing advice. One of the things that I always use the filter of is what they're sharing indicative of my own web behavior and how I would want to be treated as a customer, or how I would want to be treated as a visitor to your website. So using that principle, I look at from the perspective of, let's say, take a real estate website. If you have on your website the ability to search for properties for sale, right, that's a good feature to have. Now, one of the things as a consumer on the flip side is if you require me to log in to search that, well, I could go search Zillow without logging in. Right, so you want to really filter. You want to look at your experience that you're creating under the magnet of, am I driving people away or am I keeping people? So that's a great question that you asked, though, because, all right, so let's say I have a free report that I have available, and I want people to download that report. Well, when someone downloads that report, so they enter their name, their contact information, and their email. They've requested the information. I'm sending them that free report. Now, what's the next step? Probably a video or additional information. I'm probably going to want to take them to see, I'm going to filter through to see if they want more immediate service. Meaning if they download the free report, the immediate next step might be, hey, if you need more help, you can contact me here, right? So that you're validating that. Right below that is, hey, we really appreciate the fact that you like the page. Would you like our Facebook page? Here's the other thing. When people click on that like button, they're not leaving your property. It's instantaneous. They like the page and they're staying on your website. It's just liking the page. And so what will happen is it takes a fraction of a second. They stay on your website. If you have other stuff to offer, it's just allowing them and allowing you to send them messages after they leave the website. And that's the key, is to be able to send them messages after they leave the website. Because truth of the matter is, we don't have 100% retention on our websites. out of the traffic that we get, a very, very small percentage of the people take action, and even a smaller amount purchase. So what you're looking for are ways to be able to, I'm going to use the word capture, right? So you're looking for ways to get people to stick to you, because they're going to leave. But if they like your page, you have the opportunity to go back and like them. And if you get their email address, you have the opportunity to go back. And so is someone going to, unless someone is just sitting right there saying, I got to find a real estate agent right now, other than that, you're going to want to stay connected to them. I hope that answers the question, Gary.
I'm sorry, I'm just reading some comments from Steve Tickner. The guy's hilarious. He did say, you guys are awesome. Thanks for all of this. Somebody else, let's see. Grain said, what should my business page be called? Should I use my name and the company I work for?
Good question. So if you're going to name your Facebook business page, there's several different criteria. So if you're using it, let's say you're a real estate brokerage, of course you would use your real estate brokerage name. Let's say you have a team. You would probably want to use your team name, is what I would suggest, unless all of your marketing has something else on it, like maybe your own personal name. If you're an individual, I would recommend that you're going to want to use yourself or create a name for the business that you have so that it's a lot more portable. I mean, if you put in there, Chris Scott and then pick one of the franchise names, one of the challenges is if I leave that franchise, then that name, then the brand that I put out there is not going to be one that's, it changes. So that's where one of the options that you have, and we talk about this in Module 2, is you can choose, and it's a very viable option, to choose the page category to be a public figure. All right, so it's under the category of celebrity and public figure, but one of the sub-options under public figure is entrepreneur, small business owner, or small business professional. So you can use those as being, and have a name associated with it. So yes, you can use your own name. I would stay away from using a company name, though, unless it's your company.
Christine asks, what is the best time to post during the day? You actually cover that during the training, but can you give everybody a quick tip?
Sure. So one of the things you want to do, and we show you how to do this in the training, is you want to go to your Facebook page's Insights, right? And under your Insights tab, you can go and look. There's one of the tabs underneath Insights is to see what times of day my Facebook fans are on Facebook viewing my content. And so traditionally speaking, I think that the most trafficked time on the Facebook property is midweek between 1 and 3 p.m. But that's such a general rule of thumb that it doesn't really work, because yes, that might be the case, but you're going to want to look at over the course of the day, when are my people online, and when my people are online is when I want to share content with them. And so it's going to vary from business to business, from location to location, and even from database to database. Meaning that you might, for whatever reason, have a group of people who tend to be on Facebook in the evening, right? That just might be the people that you're connected to. That might be an aspect of what they have. I know there might be other people where it's in the middle of the day. So you're going to want to look at your Facebook Insights to understand. And Gary, we actually show you how you can go into Facebook Insights and download. I mean, they have like dozens and dozens of metrics that you could take a look at.
Yeah.
We tell you which ones matter, the ones that we track, and to cut through all of that. But if you're looking to know what time of day to post, like I said, generally speaking, midweek between 1 and 3 is the most traffic times, but you're going to want to look at your individuals and know that there's that half-life that happens. So you're going to want to look at from what time of day do people start, what time of people day end, and then break that into the half-life so you can get your posts out there and seen.
Sabrina asks, what does the 30 days of posts include? So I pulled up the post so you could actually see this. Do you want to just take like 15 seconds
Sure.
to just talk about that real quick?
Sure. So here's what we have in the 30 days worth of posts is that you'll go in there. It's a spreadsheet, okay, and it has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday across the top. Along the side it has AM, PM, and then you specify which time. And then you can literally copy and paste from the spreadsheet, and we include everything that we could that was for example, we couldn't provide local statistics. We had to provide national statistics. We do a lot of things that are housing trivia related so that you can, things that people otherwise normally wouldn't know about housing. So we cover national stats. We cover housing trivia, a lot of trends, things that would be of interest to prospective home buyers, home sellers, or people in your database, and then we have those post starters, so that you can then fill those out, and that's what's included. It's 30 days worth. It's now, if you are not going to post every day, you'd say, you know what, Chris, I don't want to post every single day. Well, then and you wanted to post maybe 3 or 4 times a week, then this 30 days worth of posts could probably be like 60 or 90 days worth of posts if you spread that out.
Yeah, so that's awesome. And Wendy asks, do you recommend posting your listings more than once?
Good question. So on my Facebook page, if you do have a property that's on there, let's say you posted a listing, know that, again, take into account that half-life, right? So you're not going to want to post it every hour, but maybe once a week is to remind that, because otherwise it's getting filtered, it's getting pushed down in people's news feeds until it's no longer relevant. And yet it's still for sale, so it's still a relevant listing to people in the marketplace. So I would test, you're going to want to test to see at what point do you have the point where people just don't look at it at all, and you can see the reach that you're getting. And now, of course, part of that is indicative of Facebook sharing that and putting it into people's news feeds. And so Facebook is going to also determine, hey, is this post still relevant? And you'll see that if the reach starts out large, and if it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, you'll see that, all right, Facebook is determining that this is no longer a quality post. A couple of different ways to do it, though. If you see that that's happening, another way to do it is to post a different picture of the house and say something different about it as opposed to reposting. So that's a way to get around that. Because, yeah, you have the half-life that happens over the course of the day and then over the course of time. So, yes, I would encourage you to do it more than once, maybe once a week.
So Rhoda King asks, just probably one of my favorite questions here, because you actually answered this question after she asked it, but this takes us back because a lot of people are saying, okay, I want that link again. She says, can you suggest a place to learn about the mechanics of using Facebook?
A place to learn, yeah. Well, I think you should get the Facebook Marketing for Real Estate product, because we do start you off at the beginning. But we ramp you up pretty quickly, meaning we start you off at the beginning so you understand the strategy of how to use it in your business, and then we get into details about having a page. But after going through this course, you're going to have a pretty good understanding. Now, you may have to watch, if you're just getting started, you may have to watch some of the advanced modules 2 or 3 times. By the way, even if you are advanced, you might watch the modules 2 or 3 times so you can implement the campaigns that are there. You're going to have a really good understanding of not only what Facebook is, but how to use it and tactically how to use it. What I mean by the tactically how to use it is, how do I go into Facebook and do the things that we're describing here on today's session?
All right, and then Robin says, can you post the link again for the Google Chrome? I just pulled this back up. That's the link, so I'll leave that there so you can write that down. Somebody else is asking for the link. Okay, if you want to, they're asking about the 100 people in there, and I have somebody finding out how many we have. So you guys still have an opportunity. If you do want the link to sign up today, we do have a 30-day money-back guarantee. And you can go to the question section and just type in there the word link, and Jordan and Will will make sure that they get that.
I see a question here from Linda, and Linda was asking, I have a hard time getting my friends to like my page. Do you have any suggestions on how to do this? So this is something that we talk extensively about in Module 3 on what to post is, are you providing the right type of information on your property to earn the like? And here's what I mean by that. If you pay money or you're inviting people to like the page, if there's not content that's worthy of liking, meaning you haven't earned the fan, then they won't like the page. So the first step, if you're having trouble, is I would assess your current Facebook page and say, is there information on there that would warrant or earn someone who I'm inviting to the page to like it? Now, that's step 1, is there the information? Step 2 is, what information do I need to add to attract specific types of people that I'm going to invite? So a great way to do that, Linda, is to look at, for example, the people you're inviting probably have worked with you in the past, might be homeowners already. And so putting on there, and we use the example of providing homeowner tips, putting information that would be relevant to homeowners, you're going to want to have that easily mentioned on the site. And then when you run when you're inviting people, give people a reason why they should like the page. Say, hey, I've got some great homeowner tips on the site. It's been great. You know, I had a really great time working with you. Hope things are going well in the home. Here's some great homeowner tips to increase equity. But tell people. So you want to not only have that information there, but you got to tell people that it is there. Another way of doing it is you can run ads that highlight specific content on your page to those individuals who you're trying to target. This is very effective because a lot of times people are, well, I guess the best way to describe it is people want what they want at that time. Yep. Meaning if it solves a problem that I have right now, or it's something that I've been thinking about, and if you have something that solves that problem, then I will reward you for helping solve that problem. In the world of Facebook and fan acquisition, what that means is if you have content that's relevant to something I'm concerned about, then I will like your page. And if you can show me that it's there. And so using the Facebook ad tool to promote posts, for example, if we had promoted that post on 5 quick ways to build equity in your home to current homeowners, they're more likely to like that than thinking of buying or selling a home type of post.
Got it. All right. Let's see. Somebody asked, I wanted to see the keys to getting your post seen again. I think that was Rhonda. So Rhonda, there you have it. I pulled that up. And then Catherine Kelly has been very patient. She's asked this a couple of times. She wants to know, how much are we spending on average for our Facebook ads?
So what I'll do is I'll break it in. Let me see. I'm going to give you a ballpark because I run ad campaigns for several different entities. And so on average, I'm probably spending a couple $100 a month per brand.
That's some of the least expensive marketing and advertising I've ever heard.
Well,
that's so much less expensive than sending a postcard out to a database.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Most of that money, Gary, goes into fan acquisition. I spend dozens of dollars a month getting our posts seen by people who are already fans.
Dozens.
Dozens. I mean, it's not a lot of money.
No, you just add it to your budget and you're set.
I mean, and if you're going to spend the time, I mean, here's the thing. If you're already on Facebook, why not just realign some of that time, realign some of that 22 minutes that you're spending on Facebook on every visit to provide something of value on there? And if you're going to spend that time providing something of value, why not spend $1 or $2 a day to make sure that people are seeing that value? I mean, really, it makes sense to do because we're all Facebook users, and we're already dedicating time to spend on Facebook, so why not just align it a little bit? And we're not talking about spending hours a day trying to manage all of this stuff. What we're talking about is just realigning your time that you would have spent on Facebook anyway and carve out a niche part of the time to provide some value to your customers and then run basic ads so that people will not only like your page but also see what you're sharing.
Okay. Steve asked, can you review everything that's included in the coaching club today?
Yes. So the offer that we have today is you get the coaching club, all right? So that's the 2 coaching sessions every month. It's the archive of all the calls that we've done up to date. We launched this back in October, so there are several months worth of calls in there. You get the priority customer support that you can schedule with our team members if you need help with any of this stuff. And am I leaving anything out? What's included with the club, Gary?
No, I mean just every pre-recording that we've done. In fact, we had a coaching club call yesterday we had a ton of attendees on this one because what we reviewed was Google reviews and how to set up your business page on Google so that you could start generating reviews and have that online presence. So all of that was included there. Cynthia says, what are your thoughts? Actually, Cynthia and Tam both asked the same question next to each other. What are your thoughts about having other agents like your business page?
Well, so what you want to do is look at the behavior that and the result that Facebook is going to generate as a result of other people liking your page. And then I'm going to leave it to you to determine whether or not you think it's the right thing to do. So in terms of your personal profile, there is nothing wrong with having other agents like your page, right? And be friends, and actually be friends. You're going to be friends with lots of folks, whether they be from the office or maybe you've worked with them in the past. When it comes to your business page, however, here's a couple of things to take into account. If someone posts on your business page, know that other people will see it. And that may be a good thing or a bad thing for you. You're going to have to determine that, whether you want other people to be able to post on your page and have that viewable. Now, for the most part, that is not necessarily seen. It's going to be seen by their networks. But if they comment on posts that you make, it is going to be visible on your page. Will people all of a sudden say, all right, I want to click on there and I'm going to work with that individual? Probably not. Depending on the type of information that you're providing, that could be a benefit. Here's one of the things that could happen is if they see the information that you have on there, I would expect, I would not be surprised if somebody copies what you're doing, which would not be a terrible thing, meaning that, I guess, what do they call that? The best compliment is, what's the term? Something about copying is the best compliment. I don't know.
Imitation.
There's a phrase there about when people imitation is like the highest compliment that can be made. So those are some things that you could potentially expect. So they will be treated like a customer, meaning that they're going to receive all the messages that you share, or if Facebook puts it in their newsfeed, they're going to potentially see the messages that you share to your the people who are connected to your database. So I'll leave it up to you to determine whether or not you would want to have other people connected, but that's the behavior in terms of that's how Facebook's going to treat them and the implication of having them as fans of your page.
Awesome.
So, by the way, yeah. You can't stop them from liking it, but you can unlike that. You can make it to where they're the word's not banned, but they're not, that they can't connect to your page.
No. A lot of people are saying imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
There we go. That's the one I was.
We're not the best on hitting the quote. In fact, we'll mess them up.
Bad at that.
It's so much fun though. Somebody just said, "Hey, I'm signing up. When will I have access to all this training?"
Right away. You should get the link almost instantaneously. If not, check your spam filter, and if that's not there, email us at support@thepaperlessagent.com, and we'll figure out what happened. But everything should happen instantaneously, and then when you log into your members area, if you're already a customer, you're going to see a Facebook tab added to your navigation where you're going to have access to all 6 modules.
All right, I have a couple more great questions here. Somebody just said, what's that link again? All the way down at the bottom there, you see the paperlessagent.com/love. Or go to your question section, type in the word link, and you just go over to the question section, type in the word link, and Will and Jordan will make sure you get that. Catherine says, thank you so much for your answer. You guys did a great job. Lots of work. Yes, indeed it was. And she really appreciates it. So thank you, Catherine. And there we go. We've got several people asking for that link. So Will's on it. Okay, next. Steve asks a question. Do you use landing pages for Facebook ads?
Do I use? Absolutely. Absolutely, I use landing pages for Facebook ads. Landing pages are going to be key to bringing people in to your offline. When I mean offline from Facebook into your database. And so do I use them all the time? No, I don't use them all the time. But I have strategically, and so for an example, remember, if you recall, one of the post types that we shared was offers for consultation. Well, what you can do is send people to a landing page to fill out a form where they're going to schedule time with you as an offer for consultation. That would be a landing page. If you were going to offer, some tips on home buying or home selling, you may offer a tip and then link to a more extensive report to be able to qualify people from Facebook over into a landing page and then see if they are really a qualified buyer or a qualified seller because they've requested that additional information. So yes, you'll want to use landing pages. Now the way you're going to want to let me rephrase that. I would suggest that you test using 2 different forms to see which one works better for you when you're driving traffic to a page that's your website. They consider that website traffic. So you'll want to try either using a right side ad that drives traffic to an off-domain website, i.e. your website, versus creating a page post that links to your website, and see which one performs better. For me, historically, creating the page post that links to the landing page has worked better. But I can't say that would be your result. But that's what's worked for me, is creating a page post that goes into the news feed that articulates the value that's going to be on the landing page, i.e., hey, here's a free report on choosing the right realtor to find the home that you want, or here's a free report on finding the perfect place to live. And then from Facebook, take them over to the landing page.
All right.
Oh, by the way, there's a really cool feature too, and we cover this in the advanced tactics. where Facebook will track conversions on your website. So if you can add a conversion tracking pixel in your ad, it has an option to create a conversion tracking pixel. We show you how to do that in Module 6. And then you add that to your website. When you look at your reporting for your advertisement, you can understand exactly how many conversions that you got and how much money you invested to get that conversion. Very, very powerful.
Steve Schwab from Portland, Oregon says, when Facebook shows you friends to invite, are those friends the ones who already don't like your page? And actually, yes. Yeah.
Right. So they are currently not fans of your page.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so you definitely want to invite those individuals, and it'll fade out the people that you've already invited.
Exactly.
So you don't invite them again.
Well, and Steve, here's one of the tips I would give though is be mindful of who you're inviting. You know, the first time I did it, I just went through and I invited everybody, and probably wasn't the right thing to do because I invited people that, you know, maybe they were competitors. They just weren't people that I should have really invited. If I would have really thought about it. You know, my 12-year-old nephew probably, you know, doesn't need to be on my business page. But so when you go through, just think through, you know, the criteria that I use today is I'll look at a person, and when I know them when they're a Facebook friend of mine, I know them personally. So I usually put in my mind, is there something of value on my page? Can I actually point to the page post on my Facebook page that individual is going to like? And if the answer is yes, then I invite them. If the answer is no, then the question is, should I add something, or maybe should I not invite them?
All right. Christy says, what are some estimated additional costs besides the monthly coaching fee with a paperless agent to use Ads Manager or Power Editor or other ad tools?
Right. So the fees that you're going to use with Facebook are the actual pay-per-click fees that you're going to set in your bids. And like I said, we're spending roughly a few $100 a month per Facebook property, so it's relatively low cost in relation to the response that we get. There's no additional, there's no fees to use Power Editor. There's no fees to use the Facebook Ads platform. It's just, and what's great about Facebook Ads, you have the option to only pay when people click. There are options where you can pay for impressions. Not one that I would necessarily suggest, although something that you have to do when you're choosing right side ads. We show you how to do that. But for a lot of what is that has been most effective for me has been, you know, using page posts and promoting page posts, and the cost that you're going to pay is only when people click on that. So it's a great way to limit, and you can set your budget limits. That's another thing that I take a look at, is you want to set the right budget limit when you're configuring a campaign in Facebook. One, you want to make sure that you have enough money into it where people are going to see your ads. But then secondarily, you don't want to spend too much money, because then you're just wasting it. And one of the things I hate to do is waste. And in marketing, what waste looks like is just marketing that doesn't work. It's just putting your message in front of people who don't need to see it, which is why I'm such an advocate of not using the Facebook self-serve ad tools, is because it's a waste of money. And so, you know, there are no additional fees outside of of course, invest in our course and join our coaching club, and then the individual PPC. And you get to limit how much money you're going to spend in Facebook. You can say, hey, I'm only going to spend a max of $10 a day or $20 a day, whatever.
I like that. It's not like you just put it in there and you get a ton of clicks and you're like, oh my gosh, my budget just got blown.
Right. No, I mean, here's what I tell people to do, and this is what I do. And I do this every time I create a new campaign, Gary, is that I set a lower budget until I have figured out what works for a specific campaign, meaning I do some split testing to optimize an ad, and then I increase the budget, because I don't want to waste money putting an ad out there that doesn't work really well. So I'll spend less on an ad that's targeted at a specific audience or a specific campaign until I've optimized it, and then I expand the budget. So I might start with, on a particular campaign, only $5 a day, just so that I can get an understanding of what it's going to look like. Now, here's what's happened. Sometimes I've limited to $5 a day, and I said, oh, I guess I'll have to increase the spend. Other times I've canceled campaigns because I did not want to have to pay the price, the additional cost, because of the result that I was going to get. And that's what we cover in the advanced targeting, how to split test before you start to increase your budget.
Wow. All right, so Chris has two questions. Number one, you can just tell us which one. Do you prefer to pay for clicks or impressions?
So I use pay-per-click unless I'm running a right side ad in which I have to pay for impressions. I don't have an option with right side ads to do PPC. Outside of that, with pay-per-click, Facebook actually offers you the ability to pay for even specific things when they click. Well, this is great, right? So you can only pay when someone likes a page. You can only pay when someone engages with a page post engagement. You can pay when someone shares. So you can be very specific with the action that you want to have take place. And so, for example, the campaign that you design may be specific for getting more page likes. Well, in that case, why would you pay for anything else other than the page like and put all the money into getting the page like? And that's so I prefer PPC. Now, here's what I've done is because of all the changes that Facebook has made, I've been testing a number of the right side ads, and I would love to see one day where the right side ads have a PPC option. It's just not there today.
All right. And then Chris has a follow-up question. Can you keep the squeeze page inside Facebook so that they don't leave Facebook?
So yes, however, there are some additional tools that you'll have to get. Or you'll have to create an app. Now, creating an app is not, when I say create an app, I don't mean you're going to have to go out there and program some crazy thing. You're going to have to create an app that resides within Facebook. There's some great tools out there, though, that are great for building your audience. Short Stack is one that comes to mind. Agorapulse is another one that comes to mind. And so what they do is they allow you to create like-gated tabs on your Facebook page. And a like-gated tab is exactly that. It's a tab that is only accessible once I like the page. And you can use that by saying, hey, here's a free report. Here's a free report on how to increase equity in your home, or home buyer tips, or home seller tips. To access this free report, just like our Facebook page, and then click on the tab for that free report. And so they'll stay in the Facebook property, and they'll be able to access it, and they'll have a like-gated tab. It's a great, effective tool. We're actually in the process of testing a couple of different tools right now to find out which one works best for us. We'll be happy to share. The two we've narrowed it down to is Agorapulse and Short Stack. One of the great things about those types of tools is that they allow you to run contests, and contests are another way to get engagement within your fan base to not only engage people but also to increase the number of fans that you have through running contests. And these tools make it easy to track the results of those contests so you can understand, for example, if you have a contest where you want people to like, share, and comment on your post for a certain amount of time and attribute points for each one of those actions, those tools, Agorapulse and Short Stack, will make it easy to track back so that you can reward people for that.
That's awesome. So Agorapulse and Short Stack. We'll make sure that we post that over in the chat section, so we'll make sure we get that. And then as I pull up a couple more questions, we have about 5 minutes. We've been doing this for almost 2 hours.
I know.
And so 2-hour webinar, guys, that's a lot of content and a lot of value. So you have about 4.5 minutes to go sign up at thepaperlessagent.com/love. I said,
we're probably almost filled up here. I haven't looked, but I'm sure we're close to being full. If you haven't signed up already, sign up, because it's going to. We're going to want this.
Yeah, and
I want you to make sure you can get into the club so you can get access to this today.
You can do that 2 different ways. You can go to thepaperlessagent.com/love, or type in the word link in the question section, and Will and Jordan will make sure that they help you out there. Okay, so here we go. Callie says, I'm currently running ads on Facebook, and the clicks I've received have been from people not matching the criteria I've set for the ads. Example, college grad. Have you experienced that with your ads?
Well, the first thing that I would look at is you really dive into the targeting, right? So I would dive into the targeting through a couple of different things. You've got first, and I think we shared this, the age. You can choose between age. Like if you're buying it, if you're marketing to people who are buying or selling, who are thinking of buying or selling a home, there is an age range that you want to target, meaning you're not going to want to target people who are 18, 19 years old. So I would automatically exclude that for the ads that I'm running. Now, you would want to look at your database and assess what is the lower range of people buying or selling a home, and maybe it's 24, maybe it's 25, maybe it's 27, maybe it's 30. You'll have to understand that for you, and then set your ad parameters to exclude those individuals. When you're targeting interest, for example, a lot of times people use very broad targeting. They might say, they'll just type in the interest as real estate. Here's the problem with that. That is a very big number of people. Even if you narrow it down by geography, lots of people, for whatever reason, either like or follow a page or express interest in the concept of real estate. And what you want to do is narrow it down to more specific. And so the way I would handle that situation is to be more specific about the people that I'm looking for, meaning you can target events, meaning that is this person newly engaged? Is this person newlywed? Is this person going through some serious life changes? A lot of this information, that's what I love about the life event feature that's built into Facebook, is you can actually market to people now based on those life. Most of us didn't know that when you thought you were adding, oh yeah, I got engaged on this time, or I got married, or I had an anniversary. Yeah, Facebook is using that for marketing purposes, go figure. But what that allows you to do is to target people on those life events as opposed to trying to create a very broad category of real estate. So I would really dive into the interest and start, so the way you do that is to split test and start excluding. I wouldn't just delete and change the ad. I would create a new version of that ad in the same campaign. So in that same campaign, if you're using Power Editor, click on there, click Duplicate Ad, and then narrow it down even further to and dive into the interest, dive into the age, and dive into. You're going to want to take a look at the categories there. I think it's the Facebook categories where you can dive into life events.
All right, so we have one more question, and before I get to that, I love reading some of these posts. Carrie says, I love your new team member, Chris Scott. And she goes, you guys rock, by the way. Awesome, smossum. Never heard that one before.
Smossum to you, Carrie.
Smossum, right. And Roxanne says, thank you so much. Tracy says, thank you so much. Awesome training, good luck, team. Like I said, this is the reason that we're here to do this. So last question. Kelly Dawn says, please describe the difference between liking a page and following a page. I think there's one has to do with a business page, one has to do with personal profiles.
No, they're on a business page. You can click on follow this page, in which you're going to get everything that page posts. And so there is a difference. So if you go to a business page right now, you can, if you were to pull one up, you can like the page, and then in that same general area, there's the ability to follow a page, and it's going to communicate more of the information that page shares into your newsfeed. And you'll even get notifications for it too. So like when you log into Facebook and you see the little notification window, it'll put the notifications when changes have happened.
All right. Well, guys.
By the way, I've had a hard time getting people to follow a page because it's kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Facebook does not make it easy to understand the difference. To me as a typical non-marketer user of Facebook, I'm looking at it, and if I like a page, well, what does that following button, there's no context to what that follow button does, and so most people don't understand what that is or even click on that follow button.
All right, guys, so we are at the 2-hour mark, 30 minutes beyond when we said we would talk. We still have 300 people on this call. We started with 1,000. That's incredible that everybody stayed 30 minutes late to continue learning. So I just wanted to say thank you, Chris. Chris has been working his tail off. In fact, he has no tail any longer. But he's been working it up because he wanted to produce awesome, smossome Facebook training for everybody. So I wanted to clarify something. I've seen a lot of questions from current coaching club members. If you are a current coaching club member, you will receive an email this afternoon?
In the next 24 hours.
Okay, in the next 24 hours with a specific promo code so you guys can get access to this. You will not be excluded because we reached the 100 new member mark. The 100 new member mark is in place just for new coaching club members.
Right. And that's because of the indoctrination of the new members. So if you're a coaching club member, don't worry. Yeah. You'll be able to get this product.
And our goal, as always, is to produce a 5-star experience for you guys. So 2 things I would say is that if Chris produced a 5-star experience for you today, go to our Facebook page and click like.
Like us on Facebook.
Like us on Facebook. And then also, if you're not a coaching club member, go ahead and sign up today. Our 5-star promise is what limits it to the next 100 who join. So as always, guys, this has been awesome. Chris, amazing content and training today. I look forward to actually diving into a lot of the training myself. I haven't been through all of it because you're still working on some of it.
Well, and we'll be talking about this more in the coaching club. We're doing some actual demonstrations. I think that's one of the ways I learn really well is to see the demonstrations. So we'll be doing more demonstrations in the coaching club in our next coaching session. So if you join the club and you go through this, you'll be able to get some further insight, even ask questions if you get stumped on anything.
All right. With that, I think it's time for us to sign off, everybody. We appreciate you for being here. And with that, I'm going to play a little bit of Pompeii because, gosh darn, I just love this song. Thank you guys so much. You're the ones who make this possible. Gary Wise with the Paperless Agent.
Chris Scott, have a great day.
Bye-bye.